Hi everyone, welcome to the Mathemagic channel. Today we look at the controversy behind the game Prodigy. Let's go! Alright, so taking a deep dive into the Prodigy game, which has been pushed into schools onto students quite consistently in the US and in Canada. This was a game that was created by two Canadian programmers and that has had quite a lot of success through mainstream education. And so a lot of parents have pushed back against Prodigy, and this website fairplayforkids.org lists a bunch of reasons why kids should not be playing Prodigy at all. And so today's video is about whether or not children should be playing Prodigy. Now, to list the main reasons why parents are objecting to Prodigy, reason number one, it pushes you towards the membership. Somebody quoted an example where when you get a prize, you can get like a dull prize in a brown treasure box, or you can get a sparkly prize in a really nice and shiny treasure box, but you can only do that if you buy the membership. Another example is that paid users get to walk high on a cloud, whereas unpaid users get to walk around in the dirt, which would highlight social inequality. So in terms of creating inequality, children get used to seeing immediately what a social differential which is based on finances might be. Well, like when somebody gets like a shiny book at school and a whole load of new pencils, and another student is just like opening an old book and they get like old trainers to go and do sports with and an old rucksack. So we don't want to highlight those kind of differences when we talk about equal education. Other parents have also said that this is commercializing education, where there's a lot of push towards buying the membership all the time. Parents have said that in the span of 19 minutes, they had to answer 4 math questions, whereas they were prompted to buy membership at least 20 times, which is outrageous. And in those 20 minutes, you could have done a lot more mathematics than just like try and buy membership over and over again. Some parents have said that it teaches kids to be consumers, not learners. Other parents have said that it pushes excessive screen time and gaming over learning. Another point parents have made is that children are playing the game because it's gamified, but they just tolerate the maths, so they're not like learning to fall in love with the mathematics inside of the game. And so as kids were pestering their parents for memberships to Prodigy, the world exploded. Now, the Canadian owners of Prodigy says it was just a freemium product, freemium, not premium, and that in order to operate it, they just need to have a little bit of, money involved and a little bit of a membership system. Otherwise, they'll be running at a loss and they won't be able to offer the product at all, which is a fair pushback from them. However, as a parent, you do want to know if the product you're offering is just a bit of a scam or if it's a legitimate tool for education. And so this is what we're going to look at today. And the best way to do that is to just play the game. So let's go ahead and play Prodigy. Alright, so here's the Prodigy game. We logged in, we chose a name, and we're going to choose a little Tweety bird. Okay, great. That's my name, Kareem. Okay, so first it's asking us to find a game mode, home or school. I guess both could be interesting. Let's try the school mode to see what's being offered in schools specifically. So it's given us the option to learn math, so we're going to go ahead and learn math. Oh wow, so we have a math question. Okay, what estimate is closer to the area of a circle with a radius of 0.8? Okay, so pi r squared, 0.8 squared is 0.64, 0.64 times pi, so 3 times 0.64, 1.8. Oh well, 3 is pretty far off, but I guess that's the best guess. It's pretty far off though, because 1.8 or 2 is not close to 3. Okay, sure. Okay, so I have more magic! Yay! Oh, another another circle question. Circumference, so 2 times 5.2, 5.6 is 11.2. 11.2 times pi is going to be 30 something, so 30 seems good. Oh my, oh my. Another circumference question, so 10.8 times pi, 30 something. And in the meantime, doing a lot of little battles and doing some math while you do the little battles. Defeat 2 more. I will say, if the quality of the questions doesn't really improve, then it's kind of like, you know, not great. Okay, so is it a triangular prism? So the area of the base is 6 times 5 divided by 2, so 30 divided by 2, which is 15. 15 times 3 is 45. So we always do the area of the base times the depth. Yay! Volume of a prism, 8 times 5 times 9. 8 times 9 is 72. 72 times 5 is 360. Easy to multiply by 5, so keep that at the end. The missing angle. Angles add up to 180. 15 and 10 is 25. We're missing 155. Uh, 120 and 40 is 160. We're missing 20 degrees. Length of the hypotenuse, 192,256. I could square both sides or try and figure out if they're a Pythagorean triple of some sort. This is 64 times the 3, 4, 5 triangle. So it's 64 times 3, 64 times 4, and it'll be 64 times 5. So 64 times 5 is 320. That's not an easy question. That's not an easy question. Oh, are you kidding right now? 403.2 inches, 258.39 inches. Absolutely use a calculator for this one. So using a calculator, we find 478.89. Now, I could accept that there is a way that you could think that those numbers are multiples of a big number that's easy to work with. Like if you were to multiply both lengths by 100 and then try and understand that 403.2 is a multiple of 3 of some sort, and then 25839, 2577 and 815, 15 plus 3, 18, 18 plus 9. Both numbers are divisible by 9. I think what you could do is multiply those by 100 on paper, then divide both the numbers by 9 and realize that maybe there's some easier numbers to deal with after that. But honestly, this is going to be a calculator question, so for most human beings. So to be fair, this school version has no paid adverts. It does not really incentivize you to go and buy a membership. But it's really boring. So I don't know how kids are gonna play this and just be into it. So I'd like to see the home version. My take on this version is that it's very gamified. There's not a huge amount in terms of mathematics, but I can see how there's a little bit. At the same time, not an amazing product, but nothing terrible about it. And there's other humans in the mix here, which is quite nice. So immediately I noticed the difference with the home version, where there seems to be a lot more stuff accessible. What happens next? Click on the hand. Oh! Area of a circle, so pi r squared, r is 1, 1 squared is 1, 1 times 3 is 3, so closest. now we have magic again. And we got the monster defeated. Yay! Little victory dance. Okay. Oh. More loot, even more gold gear and items to find on your adventure. Become a member now. Oh, well, I don't want to become a member. I just wanted to play the game. Okay. I see what parents are saying. I have to open the brown, yucky chest when there's this nice, shiny... Oh, no. Okay. Oh, area of a circle, pi r squared. 10 squared is 100. 100 times pi is 300. 300 seems good. I guess I'll always click on the brown chest. 5 days left. What happens after 5 days? Scan to purchase a membership using another device. Buy membership. Get a parent to help. Ooh, that's a bit edgy. Go and ask your parents. This is where the whole you're gonna pester your parents for a membership comes from. You can access more pets. You can have prizes. You can get more items and quests to foster a deeper love for learning. Not free though.
2 hours later.
Okay, I think I've seen enough. And so to make our mind up about Prodigy, the first thing to think about is that perhaps the developers have changed the game since the pushback. So maybe it's not as bad as it used to be, but clearly there's been a campaign against this game. And so for the version which we're exposed to today, and to the accusations which we looked at the beginning of the video, so pushing you to a membership every time you open a treasure chest. You can't access the sparkly one, that's true. You get access to that brown dull one. We all know that if Facebook was in black and white instead of being all colorful, or Instagram and all the other apps, they wouldn't be half as appealing. So for a kid that works as well. The dopamine hit is not the same, and it's kind of unfair that you can't have the sparkly chest. That's not major point, I don't think. Paid users walking on a cloud. I haven't seen any paid users. I just saw a bunch of other users walking around like me in the dirt. So I guess we're all like poor non-member users, and we decided not to buy the membership, which I guess is fine. I didn't see that discrepancy, but I guess it does happen in the game. Otherwise people would not be made aware of it. Commercializing education, I really kind of agree with that. We shouldn't be having to buy a membership. Saying ask your parents for a membership to me is pretty pushy, and I don't really resonate with that. I think that should actually be illegal, and you shouldn't have your child coming to you saying, give me a membership for this, give me a membership for that. You should be in charge of that as the parent. Should not be offered as a product by schools. I can see that. I can also see the counter argument for, since the school version seems to be reasonable and have zero advertising. But again, this might be after the pushback. However, I will say that the amount of time spent playing and shooting at monsters versus the amount of time doing mathematics is really high. And so for me, the crux of this is two things. First of all, it's too gamified and not enough content based. So I actually think that there's not enough mathematics in there. And the second point, and for me the biggest point, is that it's completely unstructured. I would resonate much better with a game that would put you in a world which is like the world of fractions, and suddenly you have a bunch of questions about answering fractions, and then you have a world which is about solids, and then you have to answer questions about the volume of prisms and the volume of spheres and so on. And to me it seems like it's a little bit all over the place. Like you start, there's like circles, and then you have to do prisms, and then you have to do this and that, and there's no structure to it. It's just a bunch of random math questions. So it really just looks like a random algorithm feeding you questions, rather than like a structured effort to educate your child. And to me this is a real problem. The reason why it's a big problem is because I am an educator, and as an educator I believe in structure for children. Absolutely. I prepare lessons for children every single day, and if my lesson has no structure, it will not be a good lesson. And the fact that this game has no structure means there is no lesson behind it. You're not going to learn because you're not in an environment where the formula is presented to you, it's being taught to you, and then you have to use it, and then there's another way in which you have to use it, and then maybe there's a proof to the formula, and then it gets repeated again, and then you have a review section. This is the kind of format where students are going to integrate the learning, and the reason for that is because students forget stuff all the time, and so you're not giving them an opportunity to learn if there's no reinforcement, if there's no structure, if there's no introduction, if there's no lesson. And that is a major problem with Prodigy right there. There's nothing presenting, reinforcing, and teaching. It's just a bunch of random questions, and I unfortunately can't resonate with that. You could just go and Google a bunch of questions and achieve the same result, except for the gamification. Just random math question, Google it and find a random math question. How much learning would you do if you did that? And to the point about excessive screen time, I actually agree with this. This is too much screen time. I am a parent of 3 children, and I don't want my kids stuck in front of the screen, clicking buttons, trying to fight monsters when they should be studying. And so I'm going to be a little bit more traditional here and say that Prodigy is probably not for me. I don't prefer it as a math teacher, and I don't prefer it for my children as well. Being really against it is probably not something that, I'm not taking a hard stance against it like I see here from fairplay4kids.org. However, I do see that if this was pushed at school and my kids were playing it every day and asking for it all the time, I might get a bit annoyed with it. I hope this was an interesting look into the controversy behind the Prodigy game. Make sure to like and subscribe to the Mathemagic channel to see more about our content and our math lessons, which are actually not games, they're just lessons, right? So we'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.